All right, guys, today we got a 2019 Honda CR-V. Battery's going dead overnight, but it's got a pretty interesting backstory. Let's get into it. Backstory on this one is that the client went out and middle of the night one night, he heard his alarm going off, thought somebody was stealing his car. Went out there, turned his alarm off, didn't see anybody stealing it, and the next morning the battery was dead. And now after that, that's the only time it's done that. But ever since that, every morning the battery is dead. And he keeps unhooking the battery post, which is tight now. So he must be tightening it back on there, so that's good. What we're gonna do is this, going dead overnight. Got a draw on it somewhere. We're going to get this thing in the bay tonight. We're gonna get the meter hooked up to it, and we're going to get the doors open, get everything prepped for tomorrow morning. We're gonna have it inside tonight, ready to go, so that tomorrow morning, the first thing I'm gonna do is come in, see if it's got the draw, because we're gonna have a maintainer going on it, see if it's got a draw, and then we're going to look through it with the infrared to see if we see anything that's warm. That's gonna be the first step, and then from there, we're gonna find the draw. So
surprised that negative battery cable's been on since he dropped it off here then.
Yeah, I wonder if it's
because he was concerned when he came the other day that he said that he wanted to leave it running while he was sitting
it's dead.
Yeah.
So, yep. So we're gonna have to get it in, definitely get the maintainer on it. Probably
I don't know why he left it.
Best case scenario here, best practice here is gonna be, let's get a battery in it tonight.
Yeah.
And that way we're not fighting that tomorrow. We'll just put a temporary battery in there tonight and get it all hooked up, get the maintainer on it, let it sit in overnight. We're definitely gonna find this. This is gonna be some, I mean, if you kill it overnight, it's gonna be a pretty large draw. All right, so last night, before we left, we got the vehicle prepped up. We got a maintainer going on the battery. We had a jumper lead going here to keep the battery connected so that this morning we could come in and just connect to the positive and the negative, or to the post and to the cable with our meter, so we don't lose that connection because it had gone to sleep.
We put a new battery on it.
Got the new battery in place. We came in, opened all the doors, took out all the switches. We verified that when this is disconnected, it simulates the door being closed. So this being if we disconnected it, then it would have simulated the door being open. We would have had to figure out a way to rectify that, because we need the car to think that the car was closed up and latched up and locked up. All the door latches were latched and the car was locked and the keys were put over there. So that's how we left it last night, thinking we would come in this morning and check for a draw and then go looking for the draw, like I said, with the infrared
Thermal imager.
Thank you, Shirley. So, but we came in this morning and here's what we came to. Walked in, the lights are on, the dashboard's lit up. It's like the key is switched on. So it's like, okay, well, that's very strange. So we went to the cameras and looked at the cameras were in here. It was a little after 6 when everything got done here. At 7 o'clock and like 20 seconds, the car came on. You see the lights come on, the car comes on. It stays on for about 3 minutes, shuts back off. Fast forward to 7:30, and then this happened. So we can see that time, to the first time it came on, it just came on. Then a very short time later, a few minutes later, 3 minutes or so, shut off. That time it came on, was on, and then the alarm went off. You see the alarm going off, and then the car never shut off. The alarm went off at some point, stopped going off, or however you want to say that. And the car just stayed on all night. So this is why it's killing the battery. This car is powering up and in the middle of the night randomly and killing the battery. This is becoming a thing, I guess, guys. Remember the Nissan with the hood latch? So, I mean, I'm like, okay, well, which direction am I going in with this? Because this could be a very difficult problem to pinpoint, where to go with this. Is the switch being activated for some reason? You know, is it sending out a signal and turning the car on randomly? I mean, it's possible. Did some research. Went online, did some research. Is this a common problem with this? Is there any TSBs on this? Searched for that. Went on Diagnostics and looked for that. What we found was online there are a lot of complaints about this happening, and there's not a real consensus on what fixes it, because when you're in these forums online and stuff, guys, you always take things with a grain of salt. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Some people said battery was bad, and check your connections, and check your door handles and your door switches. So certainly could be any of that stuff. On Diagnostics, it gave very similar symptoms to this, and it pointed to the body control module. And one of the things that it was talking about on there was to monitor the switch input to the body control module. So your start switch input to the body control module. It also said, gave reference to going into the scanner, going into the body control module, looking at when the last time the security, any kind of security events happened. So that's what I did next. Well, we scanned the vehicle, and we've got codes and several things, but remember, this battery's been going low and dead and turning back on, so we don't want to go down the path of all these other codes and stuff. We want to focus, I wanted to focus right away on this BCM. So I went in the BCM. We see we have tons of codes here. We've got just power tailgate temperature sensor malfunction and communication loss with the power tailgate. So several things on the power tailgate, power windows, just really, we got some bus stuff going on. Some things that I was like, okay, is this because of battery voltage? Is this because of malfunctions? How would any of those cause the car to power on? So then I went into the data here and go into security. If we go into security, we can go into, I think it's check. Yep. So go into check and go into history data. When we go into history data, it says the latest 3 histories of the device that set the security alarm. So that basically, how did we set the alarm? Do we put the key in the door and lock it, I guess, or did we hit the key fob? Normally we're going to hit the key fob. So it's going to tell us what set the alarm, not what set the alarm off, what set the alarm. And then it's going to tell us what triggered the alarm. So let's jump in here and take a look at that. So the last 3 times that this thing was set, the lock by keyless remote, lock by keyless access, and then the driver's door switch. So the latest one is the lock by keyless remote, which is what we did last night. And we can see that all 3 times that this car activated the alarm, or how I say this, the alarm went off, right? We had a problem, was the ignition switch. Ignition switch is what triggered the alarm. So now what we want to look at is, that's what the body control module is saying. So do we have a problem with this ignition switch, with the push button, that's causing this car, the key's not even in this car right now, and this thing's lit up. So is there a problem with this push button? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I need to look up a wiring diagram. I haven't done, this is as far as I've gotten. It's just that much information. Just basically, at this point, everything I've done is look up information, done the research, put the scanner on it, got that information. So now my game plan, and when we're diagnosing something, this is what we have to do. Let's gather some information, let's put a game plan together, and then let's go after let's start implementing the game plan. This is what I want to do. I want to get to the body control module, and I'm going to check a wiring diagram first. I haven't looked at the wiring diagram. We're going to look at the wiring diagram. We're going to see this push button is going to go to the body control module. I want to, did you almost just fall over?
The door moved a little bit.
Action cam. We're going to get to the body control module, and we are going to get where the input for the push button switch is going into it. This thing did this. Hopefully it will keep doing it. We have not turned it off or tried to recreate it at any point, but this person says it does it every single night. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into that input to the body control module, and we're going to put a scope on it. And we're just going to put the scope on a really long time frame on it, and we're going to monitor the car. We're going to be in here with the car, and as soon as the car turns on again, we will pause the scope and see. Of course, I'm gonna use the push button just to see how the push button affects the circuit, so I know what I'm looking for. And then when the car powers itself on, I'm gonna go look at that input. If the input, acts like the button was pushed, then we know we got an issue somewhere, that button or maybe the circuit. But if we don't, then every single thing that's on Identifix, every single thing that I see as far as anybody that did have like definitive answers to this would said body control module is the problem with these cars. Let's get to the body control module first, and then let's get our scope on it, get that set up. I'll show you what that looks like. We'll activate the push button and show you what that looks like, and then we'll let this thing sit, and hopefully it'll power back on in hopefully 30 minutes, and we'll be able to come and answer. Jumped in here, got on the wiring diagram. We come in, we can see that this is our push button switch, and I just found the two circuits that I'm concerned with are this black one, this yellow one. So then I jumped over and looked at the pinout on the connector. We're here and we're here. So then I just went to the car. Here's what I've got set up. I'm using the Pico on this one. My tablet is at the house, and the Pico is actually going to work good on this one because I'm able to just put a massive amount of time on the screen and just let it go. And it'll just go for a very, very long time. We could still use the ATS on that. We could trigger the Pico, but in this case, this is going to work perfect. I came up under, and I don't know if you want to get in there, Sherwood. You can kind of see, hopefully, where I'm at on the connectors, which is those two pins. And let me get my O light out of there because that's one. I love this light. This is a handy light because you can clip it on things and stuff. Don't leave it in a car because I've done that. All right, then they have under dash lighting. So it is back into its state of locked, latched, the whole deal. I do want to show you, I did press the button because we want to see what we're going to expect. So this is where I press the button. And it is kind of dirty, and the only reason it's dirty is because I have the maintainer on it. I had the maintainer off of it, and these lines were clean as can be, but with the maintainer on, it's just putting some noise in it. We don't care about that. What we're looking for is the blue circuit here, the blue channel to pull down, and the red channel to go up to battery voltage, system voltage, and down to, really this one doesn't pull down like I would think it was going to, but it's working perfectly at this point, so we're going to take this as a known good because it's working when I do that. It powers the car on, everything's good there. So now this thing, so it's doing its thing, it's running, and now it's just a waiting game to get this thing to kick back on. Once it kicks back on, I'll be able to come over here. If we see that we get the same kind of drop, or if this switch activates and does this, then we'll know that push button is an issue. If it doesn't, if this car kicks on and this stays just two lines, at that point we're going to body control module. So let's wait until this thing comes alive. It is 3 days later. This is one of the most frustrating parts of the automotive repair industry. This vehicle, which was messing up every single night prior to this, every night the client that would kill the battery, and for us, bring it in here, put it inside, checking it for a draw, put the maintainer and everything on it. Same thing, turned on, would have killed the battery if we didn't have the maintainer on it. In the last 3 days, it's not messed up one time. We've come in over that time, we've cycled the key, started the car up, unlocked it, relocked it, tried everything we could to put it into its state where it's going to mess up. The only thing that we've done at all is we came in here and we took the body control module out of its bracket. It just sits in a bracket under there. I literally went in, pulled the two tabs, slid it out of its bracket, brought it down. I actually thought, man, this is actually one of the better ones to do. I can flip it down and get right to it and put the scope on it. That's all we did. Since it hasn't messed up, I have gone into, I said, okay, well, the thought was, could it be potentially this push button causing the issue? And so I said, well, let me think about this. The key is always out of the car. The key is away from the vehicle. What would happen if I push the push button, right? So what we're thinking is, and what the information online that said, check the inputs into the body control module from the push button. Well, I said, well, I mean, if I'm checking the inputs of the push button, we're thinking that something's happening internally on that and activating it. If you push the button with no key in it, nothing is going to happen, right? It does nothing at all. Sometimes it'll pop up a little thing on there that just says no key detected, but most of the time it just does nothing. From my experience, right, and just using what knowledge that I have of the systems and how things work, I don't feel like this push button can cause the issue. Because if the key was left in the vehicle, then yes. But if the key is not in the vehicle, which it wasn't for us, the key was away from the vehicle when we were initially started this testing, then if that's the case, then the push button's not the problem. The only thing that it can be is the body control module. Now, normally this video would go in the trash because we can't prove to you that the body control module is the problem. There's no testing that we can show. There's no, there's no data that we can show to say that is definitively the problem. Do I know it's the problem? Yes. How do I know it's the problem? From the information that I've gotten, from our resources, from my experience in the field, as long as I've been here, the fact that the only thing that we've touched, period, I didn't have to pull anything else apart to get that body control module down. I pulled the shield down, this little plastic shield down, reached my hand up, touched the body control module tabs, and slid it out. That's it. I have taken the body control module and twisted it and turned it and pushed on it and everything. It doesn't power it up, but I know something in that body control module is causing this issue. We're going to put a body control module in this, vehicle. It's going to fix the vehicle. Now you might say, well, why don't you just put it back together and let the person take it? It's fixed. It's not fixed. Nothing's changed to make it fixed. It's just temporarily, whatever in there is causing the issues, temporarily happy, and from the movement of it. And eventually I'm going to put it back in, drive the vehicle. It's going to move around, and whatever's going to happen in there is going to happen again. So we're going to put a body control module in this vehicle. Let me tell you the good that's come of this, because I learned something really, really cool. So I'm really hoping that it's going to be able to be used in a future video. I know it will be. So you guys know we love ATS scopes. Absolutely love them. I will continue to use them until the end of my days. And there are things that they do, that scope does, that no other scope can do. I've got a lot of friends in the industry that just keep asking me, use the Pico, man, use the Pico, try it out. I've used the Pico in the past. I have no issue with the Pico. I'm just comfortable with ATSs. But in this case, I wanted to monitor those two signals going into the body control module, and I wanted to monitor them for a very long time, right? I wanted to know, do those things come on and cause this problem? Matt Fanslow loaned me this scope, wanted me to try out the 8-channel Pico scope, and I reached out to him. I'm like, well, I don't know how to do this. He turned to me and said, hey, go talk to Justin Morgan about this. He's the Pico guru. Got a hold of Justin. This is why it's so good to have contacts in the industry. This has got a setting on it where you can, and we're going to use this in future videos, but where you can have extremely long record times, like days, and it will record it and see things that happen. But an even better feature than that is something that they call actions in this thing. And what it will do is, it's doing it right now, this trigger is here, right, where this point is. And I've got the headlights on the green trace. As soon as the headlights would turn on, because that's what that's what happened in this car, that's what I was waiting for. The headlights would turn on. These other two traces are going to be the ignition switch, the push button. We would get a recording. It would stop the scope. You set it up. It would stop the scope, save the capture, restart the scope. That's fantastic. In other words, it would go, hey, this just happened. Let's save that capture, put it into a file for you, restart the scope, so if it happens again, I can do it again. I can see it again. And it will just go indefinitely. That's a fantastic feature. So we are going to be using this in the future for problems that we see like this, and try to see how that's going to help us fix cars, because I know it will. That's it on this one. For those that are wondering, this seems to be a problem on 17 through 19 CRVs and Civics, and 18 and 19 Odysseys. So far, no 17 Odyssey has shown up on any of our research. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking, if it's, you've got this problem and you can't prove it out, body control module is going to be your answer. I hope this helps somebody out there. That's why we're releasing this video, to hopefully help people on a very difficult problem to diagnose if you don't have that research. So that's it for this one. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Have you run into this on your vehicle? If you have, put down there that you've run into it, or any vehicle. Put it down there, put the years and stuff, so we can kind of compile that in the comments. So appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.